Welcome back to Hot Water Wrestling, everybody. Got a few minutes to do a video here, so I figured I'd shoot from the hip, talk some wrestling. And we'll start with Maurice. Why not? It'll be short. Don't worry. But the WWE has mutilated their Divas division. They never let it quite get off the ground. I think it really could be interesting, but I don't foresee it happening. I don't know why they put that glass ceiling above the ladies. I've stopped watching. Well, I haven't watched the Divas in a long time because I feel like why invest my time and emotion into something that's just completely contrived and jaded from the get-go. Like, why should I sit there and watch these matches and get interested only to be completely let down and really have no substance there at the end? It really is a road to nowhere is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, a lot of wrestling is a road to nowhere. I will sympathize. But the Divas division, it just, wears it on their sleeve. Maurice and Beth Phoenix are my two favorite divas other than Natalya, but I was into Beth Phoenix before Natalya came along, and Maurice before Natalya really came along. She was something that was different because she was French-Canadian. She had a little something different, and she was just hot. I mean, her entrance and her hair flip when she went into the ring, she was definitely a unique diva, as unique as they can be in this day and age. A lot of them seem very vanilla and the same. Kelly has that all-American girl thing going on, and I think you need that. She's kind of like the John Cena of the divas, the Girl Scout, if you would. Maurice was that, deceptive, fiery, gold-digging vixen, that you want to be with, but she's dangerous type of thing. Eve Torres doesn't really, she's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't really have a lot of character there. Natalya and Beth Phoenix both do. Obviously Beth Phoenix is, huge and awesome to look at and like, wow, she looks like a man almost, but she's dangerous looking. And then Natalya is just a badass. She doesn't have the greatest looks. she's pretty, very, very pretty. I'm not trying to say that, but she doesn't fit the norm is what I should say. She has good looks, but she doesn't fit the norm. And she made it to the top and won the championship, and she's kind of defied the odds. I never thought she would go this far. Hey, I never thought I'd spend that much time talking about the Divas in this video, but short of the story is, it's going to happen. I don't think Maurice being there and not being there is going to make all that much difference, but on a personal note, I will miss her. So moving on now to the men's division, we have The Rock and John Cena supposedly tagging up at Survivor Series. Excuse me. There has been rumblings that Mick Foley will return. It has been confirmed that he returned at a WWE house show in Ireland. There's video of that hopping around somewhere. So it looks like the Rock and Sock connection is going to come back, or at least Mick Foley and The Rock will be in WWE at the same time. Whether they're going to feud or they're going to be allies, I don't know. I would expect for him to come back the night before Survivor Series, at Survivor Series, or the night after Survivor Series. I don't know which one, but I'm expecting it's going to be one of those three, which is obvious. What does it mean, Mick Foley coming back? Well, obviously you have the nostalgia, you've got the old school flavor. Mick Foley is a guy who marches to the beat of his own drum. He's a person that has expressed in the past that he is not happy with the complacency of WWE creative. He has shown a lot of distaste for that in the past. Of course, he left last time because Vince was shouting in his ear, telling him what to say as a commentator. He didn't like that. So it'll be interesting to see what Mick Foley brings to the table now that he's come back. Because I know that Dwayne Johnson, isn't the biggest fan of the PG direction of WWE either. I'm sure Vince could make the money so sweet for these guys that they'll just go ahead and do it, and that may very well be the case. That might happen. But I would like to think that we're going to get some elevated programs and some memorable moments from these two being back in the WWE. As far as Mick Foley, I don't know what kind of role he's going to play, how full-time or part-time, but he did prove in TNA that he will get in the ring, he will wrestle again. Without him being able to wrestle with a high level of violence, I don't really know how that's going to work out. That's a little scary in many respects. I guess he can be violent, but just he can't bleed. But Mick Foley and blood go hand in hand, so it'll be interesting how they work that out. He's great on the mic. Obviously, a one-of-a-kind performer. No one else has been like Mick Foley or will be like Mick Foley, and that is a huge plus. As you know, the WWE struggles right now in finding those unique, charismatic superstars that really stand out from the pack. Sheamus, Mason Ryan, The Miz, all those guys, they're great, but they don't stand out from the pack. I mean, there's so many similarities between The Miz and The Rock. I'm awesome, and just the way he is. Not saying any of this is a bad thing. I love The Miz, but the true diamonds in the rough, those few superstars, and it's always been like that, okay? This is nothing new, okay? Even since the 70s, okay? There's always been just a few guys that stand out from the rest that are truly unique. And we always gravitate and love those guys. And Mick Foley is definitely one of those people. The Rock was definitely one of those people. And Stone Cold Steve Austin was definitely one of those people. And you know what? John Cena is one of those people. Yes, absolutely. John Cena is unto his own. He's the new era guy of that. I guess I didn't say that right, but you know what I'm saying. Love it or hate it. That's just the way it is. And let me know who else you think should be on that list of the current superstars. Nothing's coming to mind right now, but I have a lot on my mind. But anyways, Mick Foley coming back, The Rock coming back. Let's talk about The Rock. What's in store for him, what I'd like to see, what I think makes sense. Well, I definitely think it would be great if The Rock would work some kind of schedule up until his WrestleMania match with John Cena. I don't know if he's done filming G.I. Joe or he's just on a break from G.I. Joe, but I would hope that, maybe not submerge himself completely. I mean, I would love for him to submerge himself completely, but I'm trying to be realistic. Maybe not submerge himself completely, but I'd like to see him do more than just the Survivor Series program. I would also like to see perhaps they put the title on The Rock going into that WrestleMania match versus John Cena. Now, whether or not there's a belt involved in that match, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that a belt's going to be involved in that match. But I would like there to be, because going back to my point in a previous video, you have to sit here and logically think, well, what incentive does WWE have to let The Rock go over John Cena and then just walk away and go back to Hollywood and make movies? We have to think about that. And there has to be some kind of threat in that match. Just like The Undertaker, there's got to be a threat. Like the guy who's facing The Undertaker, it has to be believable that he would beat him and that he would end the streak, and they would be comfortable with that being in the history books and that person's legacy. That's why I mentioned Chris Jericho. I could conceive him doing that. He could do that. It's plausible. He's got enough credentials and enough clout to be able to beat The Undertaker. If Sheamus gets in there or R-Truth gets in there, which will never happen, but whatever, as one of those guys gets in there, I'm going to have to say no, man. There's no way they're going to let that go down like that. So who knows? I mean, maybe at this point, it might be Mick Foley, huh? What if Mick Foley takes on The Undertaker? You know, I mean, wrestling at the level that match needs to be. I don't want to repeat my old video, but, you know, going back to John Cena and The Rock, the match has to sustain a certain level. The obvious marker is Hogan versus The Rock. You know, everyone's going to be, that's the bar. You know, that's the bar that's been raised. They're going to have to wrestle at a certain level, and it's going to have some kind of stipulation, some kind of threat with the match. So we're not just sitting there saying, well, it's a fireworks show and The Rock is out here, but is The Rock really going to be able to beat John Cena? And are they going to have a rematch? I mean, who knows? They're going to have to build something cool into this, and no matter what happens, it has to reach that peak of excitement, or else the whole thing is just going to be a total failure. And I really don't think that Dwayne Johnson's going to let it go down like that. Okay, I'm pulling for The Rock as a fan, but I also know that when he came back, there was a certain amount of integrity he wanted to keep. We do know that if Foley does end up coming back full time, which it looks like he's going to, because he did make a debut over in Ireland, and you can hear his speech, that he's going to bug and pester The Rock. I think that's imminent. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But look for Mick Foley to come back. It's going to be interesting. And, well, I guess that's really all I have to say. I want to thank all my subscribers. And stay tuned for some more videos. I'm going to be moving soon. As some of you who regularly watch my videos know, it hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen next week. But I'm packing and getting ready and situating everything. So there might be a little lull in my video making. I'm going to try my best to watch Survivor Series. I might actually be traveling during that time, so I might not be able to watch it tonight. It happens, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and also keeping my fingers crossed I can come on and make a video about it. But, you know, this is the time of year where the rumblings of wrestling starts to get more and more interesting. You know, I've had some problems with the WWE product this year. There's been a lot of good things. You know, the CM Punk, phenomenal job from CM Punk. It's been his greatest year, and he single-handedly has kept me interested in wrestling for sure. But WrestleMania is coming here to Miami, and so I'm in till then at least. You know, I mean, I'm hanging on because I've never been to a WrestleMania, and I would love to go, and I am going to go, and I have tickets already, so I am going. So I want to be involved. So anyways, I don't know, we'll talk some more. If you have any questions for me, leave them down there. I hope to see you again, and see you next time on Hot Water Wrestling.